This video is for La Cinquantaine, Air in the Olden Style. This one is a really great piece to play because it shows different styles. The first page is in A minor. We have a lot of different positions. We're going mostly between third position and fourth position. We have a lot of dynamic changes, pianissimo with some crescendos. And you can see after the repeat sign at 16, you'll see the tenuto or legato markings. So the beginning of this piece, unless it's slurred, those notes are going to be smoother, more connected. A lot of the notes are hooked or staccato, where you'll keep them a little shorter. Very light, not too much pressure with your bow. And then at 17, it's mezzo forte. You'll use a little more weight, more bow, and keep the notes longer, more connected. The second page is in A major, so now you'll have 3 sharps. And this one does have a lot of variation from fortissimo or forte to piano. It's mostly stronger, a lot more bow for these half notes, but you'll also see some hooked bows where you have 2 or 3 notes in one bow, up, up, up. So this one is a really great piece to showcase different styles, different bowings. On the first page, I want to point out the grace notes. So in the second full measure, you're going to see those 2 tiny little notes before the full quarter note E. The grace notes are played very quickly, placed right before the beat. They almost sound like a pretty accident. So to play from the first measure, a great way to practice a piece that has grace notes is to take them out so you get used to the positions, the notes, and the rhythms without the grace notes. That gives you a chance to really get that rhythm, the melody in your mind before you add the grace notes back in. They shouldn't have a lot of stress on them. They're just an added little ornament. If we jump ahead to measure 7, you're going to see the TR, the squiggly line above the note, and that is a trill. So to play a trill, you play the note and make sure you hear the note that's written. So the written note there is B. After it sounds, you're going to trill, which means you start to very quickly change between first and second finger. And then at the end, you want to make sure you hold that B a little bit longer. Be careful with trills not to start trilling right away, or else sometimes you lose the fact that you're playing a B. It sounds rushed and you lose that part of the melody. So starting from measure 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the melody notes. Once we add the trill in, it just gives it a little extra flair. 2, 3, 4. So when you practice trills, practice them slowly, but make sure you start and end with that note being able to be heard so you can hear it as part of the melody. We also have to play a harmonic A on this page. The first time you're going to see it is from measure 4 into measure 5. Harmonic A, if I were to put my hand in 4th position, the A is a whole step above where my 4th finger is. So it's very important that your elbow is up, thumb is behind the neck of the cello, those fingers are rounded, and then you're going to use your 3rd finger to lightly touch the string a step above where that 4th finger was. If you're in the right place, the note should sound clear when you're playing. If you're a little too high or a little too low, you're going to hear it sound scratchy or muted. So practice getting up to that harmonic A and back so you can find it without having to stop and look. Starting from measure 4, we're in 3rd position, and then we're going to reach for that harmonic A and then come back and place our hand in 4th position. You also have a harmonic A in measure 18 and 19. We're in 4th position there. Find that A, back in 4th position. see that bowing at the end of measure 19 has 4 notes, and with those tenuto marks over them, it just means there's a small pause, almost like a little breath between those notes. Up, 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 up. Don't use too much bow weight or else it's going to start to sound choppy, and that takes away from the style there. On this first page, we are mostly in 3rd position and 4th position. To find 3rd position, put your first finger on the 4th tape. 3rd finger will land on the next tape on the E. 4th finger will land on the F. So on the A string, it's D, E, F. If you were to play in the same position over on the D string, it would be 1st finger on the 4th tape for G. 3rd would land on A. 4th would land on B flat. We also have to move over up to 4th position. So if you slide up to that tape, make sure that thumb is curved, elbows up. 1st finger is on E. We're going to use a 2nd finger for F natural, 4th finger for G. If we were to cross over to the D string, 1st finger in 4th position there is for our A, 3rd finger for B, 4th finger for C. Also in measure 29 and 30, we do have to play in 2nd position, same as we do in measures 27 and 25. Here, we're aiming for that tape you just found for 4th position where you had your 1st. That's the E. You're going to aim your 4th finger for that tape. So it's not as big of a move. You can also aim your 2nd finger for our 4th finger tape, where our 4th finger usually goes. So in measure 25, we start in 1st position on the B. Same thing in measure 27. And then in measure 29 and 30, you're gonna do that same shift. You're gonna play the B, reach that 4th finger, stretch, move to the E. The next note now is a C natural. So you wanna take that 1st finger and make sure it's stretched back. Back in 1st position, shift up, stretch back. So that 1st finger is going to be on a C natural, so it should be in the space between the 2 tapes, or if you're thinking where you are in 1st position, it's your 2nd finger. Now we're going to hop over to the 2nd page where we are in A major with our 3 sharps. We have F sharp, C sharp, but we also have G sharp, which means on our D string, we can't just play a regular 4th finger because it's a G sharp. We have to get our 4th finger extended up into that space between the 2 tapes. The way we do this on cello is place your 1st finger in 1st position on tape. Instead of playing a 3rd finger for F sharp, you're going to stretch and put your 2nd finger there. That way your 3rd finger will land on the 4th tape and your 4th finger can more easily reach for the G sharp, the extended 4. So E, stretch that 2nd finger to F sharp, and then put 3 and 4 down together so you can play the G sharp. On this page, you're mostly playing between 2nd and 3rd position. So whether we're on the A string or the D string, find that 3rd finger. That tape, that's where your 1st finger is going to go. So C sharp. On the A string, it's going to be a 2nd finger for D, 4th finger for E. On the D string, we're going to play a 1st finger for F, 3rd finger for G sharp, and 4th finger for A. We also have a couple spots where we are in 3rd position, specifically looking at measure 50 and 62. To play through that measure, open it, 3rd finger on the C sharp. Now this 3rd position's a little awkward. You're gonna aim for that tape for the E with your 2nd finger so that your 1st falls right behind it on the D sharp. Cross over to D, G sharp, back to E. Same thing in measure 62. D sharp, so between the 2 tapes. Cross over, G sharp. For this piece, it has a lot of repeats. The whole 1st page is supposed to repeat. Then you go to the 2nd page, that repeats. Then you go back to the beginning and play the whole 1st page again one time. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play straight through. First page, second page, back to the first. And I'm gonna go a little bit slower. The ideal speed for this one, it should be a little bit quicker. So that we can get up there, we gotta start slowly so we can make sure we have fingers, shifts, positions, and rhythms and bowings really under our fingers. So I'm gonna do this in 4, slowly all the way through. 1, 2, 3.